Hello, 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 everyone. This is Dr. Nick, your personal growth coach. We are going to have a wonderful session tonight. Let me know who you are. Say hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Let me know who you are. Say hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Who do I have joining me tonight? Let me know in the comments who you are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. Good evening. Good evening. Who's joining us tonight? Let me see in the comments. Hey, Candace. How are you? Awesome. I have Candace. Who else do I have? Now, y'all bear with me. This is my first live on Facebook, and I'm using another platform as well. So this is going to be a learning process. So we're going to get through this together. Awesome. Living my best quarantine life. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We doing the best that we can in the midst of, because the reality is we still have to keep moving and we still have to keep going. Awesome. I'm trying to figure out how to welcome Kendra. Hello. I'm trying to figure out how to welcome Alexis. Hey, y'all. Good evening. Come on in. My peeps are in the room. How y'all doing? How's everybody doing? Everybody's safe. Everybody's quarantined, not going outside or anything. Let me know. Say hello. Now, how do let me share this to my page? I have been in the house for the last 2 weeks. I think I went out for groceries probably like twice. Um, so yeah, I am about to have cabin fever. And so I'm excited for tonight to just have some contact. We've been doing Zoom and a lot of virtual stuff with people, but it's good to be online with some actual humans. Yes. All right. I'm trying to share the screen on my page. You guys invite your friends, invite them on in. I'm learning how to do this stuff myself. All right. I guess I did that right. Welcome, welcome, Britt. As I said, I'm giving my disclaimer in the beginning. This is my first live, so bear with me as I learn and share. Hey, Lexi, good to see you. Glad you can make it as well. How's your mom? How's everybody? As I said, this is first of many, and as we know, we're dealing in some dealing with some trying times. So everybody has to shift, everybody has to adjust. And this is something that I have to grow in because let me tell you, I'm not a tech person. So I was dreading technology even, when we weren't quarantined. So now that we are in the place where we are dealing with the coronavirus and the impact of COVID-19 and being quarantined and having to go through social distancing, you know, everybody's being stretched, and this is part of my growth process, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight, just the growing in times of adversity, and not just adversity as we're experiencing now with the coronavirus and its impact, but adversity in life, because this is a season, and we're going to get through this season. But let me tell you, there is going to be some other things that's going to happen in your life, in the community, in society, and there's going to be adversity always. So how do you deal with that? How do you position yourself to be able to kind of keep pushing through those seasons of life? How you doing? Welcome, Denise. Welcome, Sandra. Welcome, Michael. Welcome, Valencia. Hello, hello, hello. So I am excited. For those that don't know me, my name is Dr. Nicole Rankin. I am a personal growth coach, and I am a certified speaker, teacher, coach with the John Maxwell team. And I have been doing coaching and training. I do leadership development, communication, and personal growth. I've been doing that for the last since 2017. And I'll tell you more about my journey as we go on. And what I wanted to do with this live, I was kind of just praying and thinking, I know that we have to do some live events. I know we have to go live, but what will I do in this time and in this season? And for years, my passion and my heart is with young people, young adults, and their process and their journey. And I know sometimes in life that demographic can, you guys get lost in the sauce, right? You got we kind of either focus on our babies, or we're focusing on adults, but that middle group in millennials, they kind of get lost in the sauce, and you're out there trying to fend for yourself. You're out there trying to figure things out, sometimes on your own, sometimes with or without guidance. And you have the pressure and the thought process that you need to have all the answers. You feel that you have to know everything. And because you're not living up to your own expectations, you feel that you're failing, you're overwhelmed, you get frustrated. So if that's you, and you're in that millennial and you're feeling in that space, let me know that that's where you are. Show me in the text box, say yes, I am there. I am in a place where I am in a place of uncertainty, a place needing direction. Let me know that that's where you are, because that's who I want to speak to on tonight. And it's an interesting place to be, because a lot of times we feel that we have to have all the answers, and there is no rule book for life, right? We haven't been here before. We don't have a playbook to say this is how it's done. It's on the job training. We learn as we go. But the idea is that we want to make the best decisions that we can in the times that we need to, in the times of adversity, in the times of good times, bad times. How do we make the right choices to get through that process, to grow in every situation? Hey, Derek, how you doing? Hey, Angela, welcome, welcome, welcome. I see my people's coming in. Hey, Hey, Coach, how you doing? All right. I'm loving this this going live. So Today, what I'm going to talk about tonight is growing in the face of adversity. So, when I talk about that, there's a statistic that says only 8% of people live to achieve their ultimate dreams. And when I read that statistics, hey Naima, when I read that statistic, it bothers me. So I'm like, 8%. What is the other 92% doing? And why are they not reaching their dreams, reaching their goals? Because I truly believe that I'm a woman of faith. Those that know me, I am a believer that God has placed purpose in everyone. Everybody has gifts, everybody has talents, everybody has an assignment, something that they're created specifically, uniquely to do, unapologetic. And I truly believe that. And our goal, our job, our responsibility, God gives us this potential, but our responsibility on life is to figure what that is. And sometimes we take the time to do that, but sometimes we get lost. We don't know how to do it. We don't understand, we get confused. Hey, how you doing, Carol? We get confused in the process, and but yet we have to live. We have to live in this adult life. We have to live and we have to transition into adulthood. So even as a millennial, wherever you at, a college student, if you're transitioning, it gets hard, right? Because you get frustrated, you don't know what direction to go to. You don't, and even if you decide on a path, how do you know that's the right path? How do you know that the dreams that you have are going to come true? What is it that's going to make a difference between you being a part of that 8% or a part of that 92%? So I remember when I was in that season. I was in that space of frustration. I was in that time of struggle in my life where I had a career. I had a good career. I was making good money. I was doing good things in the community and had a quote unquote good life. But there was something that was missing on the inside. There was something that was still allow me to feel empty. And I didn't know what that was. And I was praying, I'm like, Lord, what is this? What is this season? I'm doing what I thought that I was supposed to do. I was supposed to go to school. I was supposed to become this independent adult where I can pay my own bills and do my own thing and have my own career. And I was doing that. And I did that, but I was still empty. And I still feel that I wasn't reaching my full potential. I wasn't operating in my purpose. I wasn't, and it was a frustrating place to be. And I didn't know how to get out of that. I was stuck, right? I was stuck in that position. And it's like, Lord, what do I need to do to move past this? And it wasn't until I understood the purpose of personal growth. Now, let me tell you, personal growth is something that changed my life. And it wasn't something that anybody taught me back in the day or in school. When we're in school, we taught technical skills, we're taught math, we're taught science, we're taught all the hard skills that we know. But there are certain skill sets that are needed so you can be adulting in your purpose, so you can understand who you are, whose you are, your gifts, your talents. We call that soft skills. And those are things that weren't taught in school. And nobody taught me how to grow myself. Nobody taught me how to understand self-awareness. Nobody taught me how to understand how to reflect on myself. Hey, Deidre, how are you? Welcome. Nobody taught me these things. So when I got to a place of where I was stuck, and on the outside, everybody said, "Oh, you're doing great. Oh, you're doing wonderful. You're successful." I'm like crying. I go home in tears because I was empty. And I knew that I wasn't accomplishing the things that God has called me to do because I knew I saw myself doing more. I saw myself having more and having a greater impact, but I wasn't at that season. So, what I had to do was understand how to grow myself. And I actually took a personal growth journey. Hey, Michelle, welcome. Welcome in. Welcome in. Y'all talk to me too. I need to know that you're there. I see the waves. Awesome. So I took myself on a personal growth journey. And let me tell you about this journey. When you be intentional about learning you and learning who you are and learning who God has created you to be. It is such an illumination. You get so much revelation. You get the areas in your life where you know you need to improve. You get the areas in the life when you know you're like, okay, I need to cut that out, or I need to cut them out, because they're not detrimental and they're not in alignment with what God is calling me to do. So from the time that I had this revelation that I need to go on this personal growth journey to where I am now, it took time. Hey, Valencia, you hear me? Awesome. It took time. And that's one thing I want to kind of hone in on is that time period. I know my millennials, they like the quick things. You want things now. You want things in a hurry, but you got to understand things are in a process. So during my journey, there were 5 lessons that I learned, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. The 5 lessons that I learned on how to grow in that time of adversity. The first lesson that I learned is you have to be willing to bet on yourself. You have to be willing to bet on yourself, because the reality is that you can be successful, you can reach your dreams, you can reach your goals if nobody else believes in you. But you will never be successful if you don't believe in yourself. And the fact is that if you can't believe in yourself, you really won't believe in anything. And that's the point where I was. Even though on the outside everything looked good, there were still things within myself that I need to deal with. There were still limiting beliefs, there were still doubts, there were still fears that were blocking me from moving forward to that next level. Hey, JC, moving forward to that next level. Hey, Jacqueline. Hey, Nikita. My cousin's online. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Michelle. Welcome. So there were blockage in me that I didn't even realize. Right. So a lot of times when you take this journey of self-discovery, you have to reflect. You have to take the time. So a lot of times we're just going on to the next thing, on to the movement. We're in a fast-paced world. But taking that time to reflect and to look and to see and to analyze those situations, those experiences that got us to where we are, that's causing us our limiting beliefs, that's causing us our self-doubt, that's causing us to put a fears in to where we're going to be. So that's something that you have to understand. You have to bet on yourself. And it came to a point that I was in that transition. I was at that crossroad. I was in a career that was great, had great money, doing great things, but I wasn't fulfilled and I wasn't happy and I wasn't operating and working in my purpose. Hey, Gwen. I wasn't working in my purpose. I wasn't doing the things that God has called me to do. So I had to make a hard decision. I had to make that crossword to say, am I going to continue down this path, or am I going to take that leap of faith and do the things that I know that God has called me to do? And I had to make that decision. But before I made that decision, I had to deal with all of the doubts, all of the limiting beliefs, all of the things that were stopping me and hindering me from taking that jump. I had to get to a point where my belief in me outweighed my fears. And once that happened, that's when I was able to take that jump. And I want to encourage you, even as millennials, as young people, you got to bet on yourself. You have to know that there is something inside of you that God has placed in you from the beginning, from you were in your mother's womb. There is some greatness in you that is supposed to come out, that's supposed to manifest. And it's not just for you, it's for other people. There are legacies, generations that's waiting for you to use your gifting, to operate in your giftings, to operate in your talents. That's waiting for you so they can get in line and do the same thing. And when I understood life on that level, that is the process that I had to take to understand, okay, I can't stay in this position where I am not operating in my purpose no longer, because it's just not just about me. There are other people out there. There are other lives out there that are waiting for me to get in order, for waiting for me to get in position, waiting for me to get in alignment with the things that God has placed in me so they can do the same thing and get in alignment and reach their destiny. And that's the power where you got to think that your God given gifts, your God given purpose, you're worthy of everything that God has placed in you. But you have to bet on yourself. You have to be willing to take the chance. You have to be willing to be able to take the risk and bet on yourself and said, I'm worth it. I'm worthy. I am worth it. I am God's child. I am more than a conqueror. I am the head and not the tail. You have to be able to tell yourself that and bet on yourself. So that was the first lesson that I learned, that in order for me to reach my purpose, in order to move into that path, I had to bet on myself. I had to get over my fears. One of my mentors, the first thing that he always taught me was you got to jump and grow wings going down. And literally, that's exactly what I did. Jump and grow wings that going down. So whatever it is that you want to do in life, whatever goals you have set for your life, whatever visions that you have set, whatever dreams that you have set, you have to be willing to bet on yourself. That's lesson number one. Lesson number two that I learned was that you have to lead your life instead of accepting it. And what I mean by that is having the ability to learn how to make the right decisions and manage those decisions every day. So, the power of choice is one of the greatest powers that we have as people, as humans. The Bible said that everything is beneficial, everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. We have choices. And where we are today is due to our best thinking and the choices that we made, period. Right? The best choices that we have made has got us to this point, and our best thinking has got us to this point today. So I had to understand that in in order for me to move to another level, in order to get past the adversity that I was feeling, I had to take reins. I had to take control. Hey, Cindy, how you doing? Welcome. I had to take control of my life and lead it rather than just accept where I was and remain stuck. There's a story that I like to tell. It's a story about a little boy who was playing outdoors and he found a fascinating caterpillar. And he carefully picked it up, took it home, and he asked his mother if he could keep it. And she said, sure, if you take good care of it. So that's exactly what he did. He got a jar, he put some plants and some sticks in it, and put the caterpillar, and every day just sat and watched the caterpillar, sat and watched, brought new plants in to eat. And then one day, the caterpillar climbed up to the top of the stick and started acting strangely. And the boy got worried. He called his mother in, but she understood what was happening to the caterpillar. The caterpillar was creating a cocoon, the mother explained. And the boy was so excited about that because she explained the process of metamorphosis and how the cocoon, the caterpillar was going to go into the cocoon and eventually become a butterfly. So at that point, the little boy got so excited. He was thrilled to hear about that process and what the caterpillar was going through. So every day he watched, waiting for that butterfly to merge. Hey, Naima. Hey, Demetria. Welcome. He waiting for that butterfly to emerge. And then one day it happened. A small hole appeared in the cocoon, and the butterfly started struggling to come out. Now, at first, the boy got excited because he's like, oh, this butterfly is about to be great. But then he saw the struggle and how hard and difficult it was taking the caterpillar and the butterfly to come out. So he had this bright idea because the caterpillar looked desperate, like he was making no progress, just struggling. So the boy got concerned and wanted to help. So he ran and got some scissors, came back to his jar, and he snipped the cocoon to make a bigger hole so the butterfly could quickly emerge. And as the butterfly came to the boy was surprised. He had this big old swelling head, a small body, and shriveled up wings. He continued to watch the butterfly, expecting that one moment that the wings would dry out and emerge and that butterfly would take flight. But that never happened. The butterfly spent the rest of his life crawling around with a swollen body and shriveled up wings, and was never able to fly. And as the boy tried to figure out what was going on, what did he do? His mother took him to a scientist at a local college. And the scientist explained to the young man that the butterfly was supposed to struggle. And in fact, the butterfly struggle through the cocoon. What's happening out of that tiny opening is when the fluid gets pushed down and out into the wings so the butterfly can emerge and fly. So without the struggle, the butterfly would never fly. And sometimes in life that we're going through a process where we're feeling like we're struggling, we're trying to get out, and we don't know how to do it, but we try to take shortcuts or not embrace the process and try to make the hole bigger instead of embracing the process. And it hinders us because that struggle is so important, important part of our growth, because that is what's going to get us to a point where we're stronger, where we understand things better, and we can take flight. Hey, Maria. Hey, Jackie. Welcome to the call. And we can take flight. So a lot of times when you're in a position where you're feeling stuck, you're feeling like you're struggling, you have to go through that process. I always say embrace the process. Embrace the process. You have to take reins and lead yourself out through that process, because that is the only way you're going to get stronger. That's the only way you're going to get the things that you need in order to truly live that life on purpose. We are never guaranteed that we will be on this earth problem free. Right. Even as a Christian, I remember when we did ministry back with 2-9. I see some of my 2-9 family. We always say that being in a relationship with Jesus Christ, it doesn't make things easy, but it makes things easier. So we never were promised that we were going to be on a life where it was just all a bed of roses. There is struggle, there is hardship, there are trials, and there's tribulations. But the victory that we have, that we know we win. And we have to have the fortitude and we have to have the perseverance to go through that, right? So when you're thinking about, and I'm talking specifically to my millennials now, because I know the struggle is real. You're wondering, how am I going to get a job to pay bills? How am I going to transition into this whole adult life that I have all the responsibilities, finding living arrangements? Some of you all even are parents at this point. And there's when struggle comes, but know the struggle is going to make you stronger. Know the struggle that it's just a season that you have to go through, but taking the ability and taking the authority that God has given you to lead your life rather than just accepting the circumstances around you, because that's where we get stuck. So that was my lesson that I learned. I had to lead my life. I had to take the reins. I had put myself in a position where, I wasn't really supposed to be. I had climbed a ladder, a corporate ladder, and I thought I was doing great, all to realize that the ladder was leaning against the wrong building. And at that point, I had to lead my life. I had to take the reins and ask God, okay, Lord, we going in another direction. All right, I'm yours. Let's do it. So now leading my life rather than just accepting the way it is and kind of just having a routine and staying stuck in our comfort zone. That's a lot of times when that happens, when you just accept life and kind of go with the flow, you get into this rut, you get into this routine, you get into your comfort zone, and it's all safe and great. And hey, Cedric, hey, Gwen, it's all wonderful in the comfort zone, right? It's comfortable. And if you choose to be that, hey, no more power to you. But for me, I know that there is greatness that God has placed in me that I want to explore. That abundant life that I was promised, that he's come to give me life. And I want that. So I know that I have to stretch myself. I have to get out my comfort zone, because nothing great happens in your comfort zone. You're going to have to move past your routine move. You're going to have to take the risk, move past your fears, move and get out the comfort zone to experience the greatness and the fullness that God has for you. And it wasn't until then, and wasn't until I made that decision that I wanted to lead my life rather than accept it, then things began to change. My eyes began to see so many things that I had never seen before. I saw myself doing things that I've never done before. I've experienced things that I've never done before, but it wasn't until I made that decision to lead my life rather than accept it. So that was lesson number two. So the first lesson was be willing to bet on yourself. Second lesson I learned was lead yourself rather than accept it. The third lesson, so we have 3 out of 5. We're almost there. We're almost there. So the third lesson is, if this is good to you, let me know. I see Gwen. I see, yes, nothing great happens inside your comfort zone. Absolutely. The third lesson that I learned is that you got to love what you do and do what you love. Life is too short, y'all. And we are experiencing this now in this time, in this trying time, especially, now we have social media. We see everything. Everything is just on a heightened level of awareness. It's just, actually, sometimes it's just sensory overload. There's just so much going on in the world that we're bombarded with on a daily, hourly, minute basis, and it can be so overwhelming. Hey, Coretta, welcome. And life is too short to just not be happy and to do what you love. And that's the thing that, when you're in a position where you understand that God has created you with talents, that has created you in a unique way, that he doesn't make mistakes. And the plan that he has for your life is like no other. Why would you not want to explore that? Why would you not want to take that path? So love what you do and do what you love. Find what are you passionate about? What are your giftings that you have been given? What are the talents that you have? I my one of my giftings, I'm a teacher, and I've always been in the teacher mode. And I knew that. I know that now, but and maybe if I was guided back in the day in a different direction, my career path would have went different. But understanding, when I went in my journey, I understand what my giftings are. What were my strengths, what were my weaknesses, then I can make my decisions in alignment with who I was created to be. So I know that, I am if for people who, I'm very analytical, I'm very logical, I like my information. I need to know before I make a decision. I need to know everything, every detail. How is that going to go? But I know that about me. Right. So when I'm dealing with other people, I know that about me. So that's how I'm able to interact. That's how I'm able to build relationships, because I know me. I know the talents that I have. So when you have that heightened self-awareness, I can do the things that I love to do. And anything else that doesn't align with that, I can say no to. And it's okay. I don't have to accept everything that comes my way, because I'm aware of the things that I love, the things that I was created for, the things that I was purposed for. I'm aware of that, but I took time to understand that. And it takes time. A lot of times we don't invest in ourselves. We don't invest in ourselves to know who we are. We're just living life, trying to live our best life, but don't know who we are. Getting in relationships, but don't know who we are. Trying to make money, but don't know who we are. See, everything we do revolves around our own personal growth and our own understanding of who we are. So if you don't know yourself, you're not going to know how to do everything else. You're not going to know how to make $1 million if you don't know how yourself, your strengths and your weaknesses. You're not going to be able to flourish and thrive in a career if you don't know yourself. You're not going to be able to have successful relationships if you don't know yourself, So starting with you is where you love what you do and do what you love. Life is too short to be unhappy. I know a lot of people in a lot of positions that wake up miserable every day doing what they are doing, but too afraid to take the risk to find out what they love, to find out what they can do that they love. Right? Too afraid to take the risk. That's why you got to bet on yourself. You got to take the risk. You got to be willing to come out the comfort zone. So that was my third lesson that I learned, that I had to love what I do and do what I love. And when I was able to do that, I love the quote that says, when you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. That right there, people. That is the ultimate. When you know that every day that you are working and operating and doing the things that God has called you and destined you to do, that's living your best life. That's what success looks like. So it took me time to get there. And I encourage you when I'm talking to my millennials and talking to my young adults, you got to find out, take that time to find out what you love. Let me tell you something. Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. And I'm going to read my notes. I wrote down, do not make choices of any kind, be it about your career or your life, just because it pleases other people or because it ranks high in somebody else's scale of achievement. I'm going to repeat that. Listen, Linda, y'all listening? Y'all listening? Yes, Valencia, they miserable. Yes, they do not make choices of any kind, be it about your career or your life, just because it pleases others or it ranks high on somebody else's scale of achievement. I can go home on that. I could just shut this down because a lot of times when we're thinking about, especially in our younger age, we're adapting to whatever maybe our parents want us to do, or maybe what society deems a right career path or a right way for us to do. We're not in touch with who we are. We're not in touch with who God created us to be. We're making decisions based on other people. We're making decisions based on what other people think that we should do. And that's how we end up in a path where we end up in our 40s, in our 50s, and even in our 60s asking the question, what do I want to be when I grow up? Because we took on a mindset from other people. So I say, when you're making your choices, when you are doing the things, when you're trying to figure out this life and trying to become an adult, you got to tap in and you have to make the investment to do that. It's going to take time. And I know there's pressure that for you to be successful. You know, I think at the end of the day, parents just want you to do good. Parents want you to succeed. Parents want you to do better than them. So finding out who you are, finding out the things that you love and operating in that and knowing you're going to see, you're going to be able to thrive. But you got to take that time to do that because let me tell you, if you make a choice of where you're pursuing a dream or a goal that is not yours, you are going to waste time, energy, money, and you're going to live a life that is not in alignment with God, what God calls you to do, and it's going to be miserable. I am here to attest that. So listen, don't make choices based on other people. Know who you are, love what you do, and do what you love. That was lesson number 3. That was a good lesson. Was that a good lesson for y'all? Hey, Ken. Hey, Tim. Speak. Yes, that was a good lesson. The lesson number 4 that I learned in my personal growth journey was, do not compare yourself or your dreams to others. Do not compare yourself or your dreams to others. And this was a hard lesson for me. Because what happens is a lot of times when we're trying to figure out what we want to do with life, what direction should we go, we're looking at other people. And especially as we're getting older. I remember, even in my 20s, I had a whole timeline that I was supposed to be doing this by 25. I was supposed to have this by 30. I had this whole sheet. And then I was comparing myself to others around me where they're doing this at this age or they're doing that. And all that's doing is stopping you from being who God has created you to be. So understand that your journey is your journey and you have to embrace what God has for your path. And the more that you look at other people, it just stops you from being who you've been called to do. You're unique. You have been created for greatness. You don't have to look at anybody else, but you have to believe that within yourself. I believe it for you. Your parents believe it for you. Your good friends, I say good friends, your good friends believe it for you, but you have to believe it for yourself because comparing yourself to others only slows down your process. So don't compare yourself to others. Your success is doing the best that you can do with where you are in whatever it is that you decide to do. That's your journey, and you have to be okay with it. Cindy said yes, right? You have to be okay with that. Embracing your journey and not comparing yourself. So you may be 25, and by 25, you said, I wanted to be married. I wanted to have 3 kids. I wanted to have the white picket fence, but that didn't happen. Okay. It may happen for somebody, but maybe that's not your journey. And that's okay. So whatever your journey is, embrace your journey. Stop comparing. And I know it's hard because social media, everybody's on social media putting out their best life. But let me tell you what that best life on social media, behind closed doors, when they shut down that screen, when they close down that computer, you don't know the hell that they're going through. So whatever best life they putting up on social media and you comparing yourself to that, that's not what you want. You want your own journey. You want to make the right decisions that's compatible for you, compatible for the things that God has placed in you. So be mindful, guys. Sometimes you just got to take a break from social media. Sometimes you just got to shut it down because there's just so much coming at you. And you can get caught up in, oh, they're doing this, or they're going there, or they have this, or they have that, or you don't know what's happening. Because I can do some filters. I can get some Photoshop pictures and put me in a post, and it look like I'm living my best life. But I'm struggling. I'm at home crying. I'm broke. I'm this. You don't know what's happening behind closed doors. So don't compare yourself or your dreams to others. And once you get that laser focus and doing the things that you have been called and embracing your journey, let me tell you, the joy that you feel is undescribable. The peace that you have that surpasses all understanding is undescribable. And that's the success. That's when you're truly adulting in your purpose. When you can say you're living a life that's at peace, when you can say that you are living the life that you have been called to do, where your success level is, then that's when you're truly adulting in your purpose. So lesson number 4, don't compare your dreams or yourself to others. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. So is that good to you? So that's 4, right? Hey, Kamika. Hey, Nakia. Hey, Kiko. Hey, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So the last lesson that I learned in my journey is that you have to believe in your vision and the future, even if others don't understand it. And I say that again, you have to believe in your vision for your future, even if others don't understand you. And I say that to say because I remember when I made my transition. Now, for those who don't know me, know where I used to work. So yeah. and making a decision to leave all of that behind, the life that I built, the career that I built, the profession that I build, to venture into the unknown, to start a business, to become a business owner, to become an entrepreneur, to do something that I have never done before. There are a lot of people like, girl, are you crazy? Are you nuts? Who leaves that type of institution? Who leaves that type of salary? Who leaves that type of benefits? People are yearning to get to where you are. But you know what? If I got caught up in that, if my hope and my faith was in the stuff or was in the material stuff, then I wouldn't have left. But when I put my hope and my faith and my trust in God, right? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. And if I say I believe, then I have to be able to trust the journey of the unknown. So I had to believe in the vision that God had gave me. I am a journal writer. I have journals. I've been journaling since college. I have tons of, everybody see I know my nieces and they all in my room that I have drawers of just journals. I journal. And From time to time, I go back and I look at my journals and I look at the visions and the dreams that I wrote even back then. And I said, God, this is what you gave me. These are the things that you planted. These are the seeds that you put in me. And I need to manifest them. I have to do the work. Faith without works is dead. I can have all the faith that I want. But if I'm not working it, it's pointless. So faith without works, you have to have both. So I had to believe in the vision, even when others said that I was crazy. I had to make a decision. So whatever dreams that you have, whatever goals that you're willing and deciding on in this journey as a young person, you have to believe in it because some people may not support you. In fact, the people that you think on to support you, they not. And that happens oftentimes. But even in the midst of that, you have to be able to move forward and said, I have this vision and I'm trusting in God and I'm going to move forward on it. Believe in your vision for your future because it's your journey, it's your future. And at the end of the day, your choices are your choices. It's on you. You have the ability to lead your life. So believe in your vision. Um, it's an interesting position where you're in the unknown. And I get it as young people. I Tim said no support. They give you no support, right? The people that you think gonna have your back, the people that you think that are gonna be there and support you, it just doesn't happen. That's why you have to be willing to bet on yourself. And these are the lessons that I have learned. And I wish like I said, I took this personal growth journey and it took me time. From the time that I decided that I knew that I was stuck and I knew that there was greater that I wanted to gain and greater that I wanted to have. And I knew there was more that God had for me. That journey actually took me about 2 years, right? It took me a 2-year process. And going through the process of self-awareness, going through the process of self-reflection, going through the process of understanding my beliefs, understanding who I am, my strengths and my weaknesses, shaving off the things that weren't fitting and what wasn't aligned with where I knew that I was going. Right. These are the things. It actually took me time to do that. It took me a 2-year process. And I put that in here. And this is what birthed out of that. This adulting in my purpose, this journal was birthed from that process. This is what I captured in my 2-year journey of my personal growth plan and personal growth process. I've captured it in this journey. So you can have a tool because if I knew then, now what I needed to know, if I knew that then, I think my life would have been different. But it's okay because my journey is my journey and I embrace the process. And I know in God's time, everything manifests and everything happens in God's timing. But as you are coming up as a young person, as you're coming up trying to figure this out, trying to figure this whole adulting, and I know it's hard. I know you may feel alone. I know you may feel at a point where you are struggling, be it trying to figure things out, being financially or whatever the case may be, to know that the process that you win, right? That there is a journey and it is a process and you will get through it. But there are tools out there, there are people out there that will support you, that will help you, that will give you the guidance, that will allow you to be you. So in understanding all of that, I want you to go over these lessons, believing in yourself, bet on yourself, lead your life. Don't just accept it. Don't compare yourself to others and love what you do and do what you love. That's how you start this growth process. And once you get those 5 things, those lessons, and start just every day understand, am I doing the things that I love to do? That am I working on me? Am I doing the things? Am I comparing myself to others? You have to ask yourself these questions. And the more awareness that you get, the more you grow. That's where the growth happens. And the more you grow, the more your mindset, your thought process, and then some of the things that you used to do, you end up you don't do them anymore. The people that you used to hang around, you don't hang with them anymore. Why? It's not that they're bad people or the things that you were doing bad. It's just that they're not in alignment with where you're going. So these are the things that I want you to think about as you're trying to figure out this whole adulthood, a whole process of evolution and turning and transitioning from being a dependent. Maybe you're living in your parents' house now. You're on your own trying to figure it out, and you're so prideful that you're struggling alone because on the outside you want everybody to think that you are successful and you are doing the things that you need to do to thrive, but behind closed doors you're sad, you're lonely, you're struggling, you're frustrated, it's hard. But know that God loves you. He has purpose for you. You are worthy. There is greatness inside of you. There are gifts and talents that are waiting. And if you're not operating in them now, this is the time. This is the season. We're quarantined. We got to be in the house until further notice. We just got in Georgia. For those in Georgia, we just heard that schools are going to be closed until for the rest of the school year. So we have time. We have now. God has given us time, and time is something that is the most hot commodity that we can have, because we can't get that back. But we have been given time to reflect, and using this time wisely is going to make a difference. So when we get through this whole adversity with the coronavirus and all of its impacts, because this is a season and we will get through it. But the question is, when we are through it, what is your life going to be? What path are you going to take? What decisions are going to make? What things are you going to do differently to get a different result in your life? So those are my lessons for the night. I hope that was helpful for somebody. I see the likes, I see the hearts, I see the comments. Awesome. Welcome, Candace. Hey, Renee. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Reg. Oh, my cousin. Hey, Dexter. Y'all all online. So thank you for joining. And what I want to do, especially for my millennials, I want to offer an opportunity to work with me for the next 7 days. 7 days. I'm going to give 7 days. And what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through the Adulting in My Purpose, the journal. And I'm looking for those people who are going to, hey, neighbor, yeah. I'm looking for those young people who are willing and going to be committed to embrace the process for 7 days for 1 hour. We will come on. I'll take this offline so it can be a little bit more intimate setting, and we can talk, and we can actually delve deep into some of the things that I talked about tonight. I did this before with a group, and actually there's 7 chapters, there's 7 sections in the journal, and we actually did a 7-week journey where we dealt with one section a week, and it was an amazing, let me say it was an amazing journey for myself and for them, just to see the growth they had, just to hear the discussions, hear the revelations, and now we're all still in touch, and I see them doing their thing. They're looking and working in their purpose and doing the things that they have been called to do, and it's just amazing. So we're not going to do 7 weeks, but I will do 7 days. So if you are a millennial, if you are a young professional in your 20s and 30s, and you say, I want to go to the next level, I'm ready to take myself, I'm ready to adult in my purpose, I'm struggling, I need some help, I'm here for you in this time of season. You know, we're quarantined, so we'll go on Zoom and we'll have some time of delving into what we discussed tonight, going through the journal. You can bring your challenges, bring your questions, and we're going to have a good time and grow, because I want to see you all successful. I want to see you come out of this season greater than what you went in. So if that is you, I want you to inbox me, say, that's me, put me in, sign me in, because we're going to start tomorrow, right? We're not wasting no time. You know, we're not wasting no time. So if you're going to be committed to Candace said, do it. Yes. And I want to have Candace on. We're going to do this again because she was one of the persons that went through the group the first time for 7 weeks. And when I tell you, it was amazing. And she is amazing, doing amazing things. She's an author. She just published her second book of poetry. She's a spoken word artist, just an amazing woman. So she said, do it, and gave me the thumbs up. So if you wanted to go through the journey as well, inbox me and say I'm in. It's going to be a limited space because I want it to truly be intimate, so we can be vulnerable. If we have, we'll laugh, we'll cry if we need to, whatever we need you to do to move to your next level in life, so you can truly say that you're adulting in your purpose. That's what I want for each and every one of you all. So thank you guys for listening. This was my first live. How'd I do? How would I do? So we will do, I think we're going to do this again. We're going to do this again. I'll probably do this again weekly. So I'll come back on next Wednesday. We'll do another live. But if you're truly interested in going through the journal with me for the next 7 days, inbox me and tell me you're in, and I'll send you the information so we can meet again tomorrow at 8:30. You all have a wonderful night. I pray that something that was said, the seed that was planted, God will continue to water and give the increase, and you will see the manifestation of all the things that God has for you. I love you all, and be safe, and definitely please wash your hands and stay inside. All right, guys, have a good night.